In a video that went viral on Twitter on Sunday night, Kenneth Roth, executive director of the NGO Human Rights Watch, said the local authorities would not allow him to enter Hong Kong, where he was scheduled to launch the group's World Report 2020 on human rights abuses around the world. Now, he said Hong Kong immigration officials had cited only immigration reasons as the justification. But on Twitter, Ross then went to town with his own theories. He said the incident was another disturbing crack in the rights of the one country, two systems, and that he had hoped to spotlight Beijing's deepening assault on international efforts to uphold human rights, and that the decision vividly illustrated the problem. Now, plenty of Western media pounced on this opportunity to promote Ross's side of the story, depicting this case as one more sign of the Chinese government cracking down on Hong Kong's freedom. But they conveniently neglected to highlight the role his organization has played in fueling anti-China forces that have created chaos in Hong Kong. There's more than one side of the story, but lots of media outlets forget the bigger picture or tip the scale in favor of one position explicitly or implicitly. So let's now take a look at a couple of examples from this week. First, Reuters published this article. Human Rights Watch had denied entry to Hong Kong ahead of report launch on January 13th. Well, it describes how Kenneth Roth says he was blocked at the airport from entering for the first time, having entered freely in the past. Then as, during 7 months of sometimes violent anti-government protests, the Chinese-ruled city has barred several activists, foreign journalists, and an academic. Now, first I wonder, what does Reuters mean here by the Chinese-ruled city? Who should Hong Kong be ruled by, if not by the Chinese? And why not just say city, plain and simple? Or is the article trying to imply that Hong Kong is not part of China and that Hong Kongers are not Chinese? It's an odd editorial choice. But regardless, the article goes on to say that Hong Kong has barred several activists, foreign journalists, and academics since the protests broke out. And farther down, that a Chinese foreign ministry official had threatened to impose unspecified sanctions against Human Rights Watch and several U.S.-based pro-democracy organizations in early December. But does the article elaborate on why? No, but we can fill it in for you. Now, the Chinese Foreign Ministry on December 2nd said that China decided to impose sanctions on certain NGOs that have supported anti-China plotters who messed up Hong Kong through various means, aiding and abetting them in extreme violent criminal acts and inciting Hong Kong independent separatist activities. It added that China urges the U.S. to stop meddling in China's affairs, including Hong Kong affairs, and that China will take further measures if necessary to firmly safeguard stability and prosperity in Hong Kong and China's sovereignty, security, and development interests. Is it so hard to see why organizations or individuals who want to fuel tensions in a city that's been plagued by violence are not welcome at this time? Well, it's difficult for me to imagine the U.S., for example, welcoming people in the country if they are perceived as agitators or on a mission to trigger further conflict. Now, you're free to think what you want and to publish all the reports you can manage, but if your organization attempts to meddle in China's internal affairs, don't expect China to welcome you with open arms.